Hello all and welcome to The Basics with me, John, aka Old Man Sudor. It's back to our tutorial, Football Manager 20 tutorial series, and today we're going to go through the first tab here on the left. I'm on my Aston Villa save because this will be easier to show this tab, I think, on a save where we've actually got some information to show people and that sort of stuff, which you'll sort of see what I'll talk about in a minute. But this is the first tab. On your top left here, you've got the home tab here, and you'll see you've got a couple of little options here, and we'll quickly work our way through them. So the first one is the home page here, and you can get basically a load of information. So if you want to, you'll have your fixtures here usually, but obviously we're at the end of a season, so saying arrange club friendly, but you can change a lot of these as well if you want to. So we've got the league table there, but we might not want the league table. Say we wanted to, I don't know, look at our finances. You can have your finances there, even though it's over there. You get what I'm talking about there. So you really look at what information you want and change these up. But here you have, as a default, you have your league table. So as you can see, it's the end of our third season. We finished third, just below Liverpool and Manchester United, and above Man City. Overall, really good season. Player stats, you got your top goal scorers, just your players, normal player stats there. Clive, it says, as our top goal scorer. We sold our main striker in the January transfer overall, but you can scroll down a little bit and get a bit of information about who's got red cards, yellow cards, just a little sort of bit of information. Your team stats, so how many goals you scored, goals conceded, yellow cards, red cards, average attendance, all that sort of stuff, how you performing and that sort of stuff. And if you click on any of this here, it'll take you to the page, which we'll go through and explain in other videos, obviously. But your match performance, so how well the club think you're doing. They're a bit disappointed with a defeat to Wolves. They're concerned about one of our players' performances, but they were pleased with how some of our other players were playing, and the level of support and all that sort of stuff. Promises, so El Ghazi wants me to sell him. He doesn't. It's cancelled actually, because we started playing him a little bit more and he was happy. But so you can see any promises you've made to your players and all that sort of stuff. Here you got your finances, just tells you roughly. So as you can see, Villa started off with about 14 million pound in the bank in June, and we've raised our money up to close to 60 odd million there. What is it, 61 million, all the way up to 63 million. It's dropped back down a little bit. We're at about 38 million, something like that. As you can see, overall balance there, it's saying 65 million, because we've just had all our end of season money coming. That's basically why that's saying that. Obviously, you can see the transfer budget and your wage budget. So we've got 80 million pounds to spend next season in the transfer market, and we've got a wage budget of 1829, but we are spending about 1727 of that already. So we've got to work obviously on that, but we'll be buying and selling players and that sort of stuff. So that's the first page you'll come to. And I think it's quite self-explanatory, but like I said, you can change this to anything you want. So you want to look at your squad status. So if you want to see if any players are unhappy or injured or anything like that, quite quickly you can do. You can really choose any of these you want. If I go to training, it's going to not really show anything because we're on holiday, so there's nothing there. Pending transfers, we've got one pending transfer, one player's leaving towards the end of next season or the start of next season. Like I said, you can really go through and just see whichever one of these you like. I personally just leave it on the ones that it's on usually. I'm not really that fussed about it, if I'm honest. Next page is your profile. So this is your manager, the manager you created. It tells you all the information you need to know. So it tells you all your coaching stuff here. So obviously you've selected all your preset, but as you play the game, these will decrease or increase depending on how good and bad you are. So we've got good at attacking, fitness is a little bit low, defending's good. We're not very adaptable, but we've got good determination. Our player knowledge is okay, not fantastic. You've got your relationships with players and journalists and managers and all down here. So as you can see, I'm close to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for some strange reason. Got obviously a lot of the Aston Villa players, that sort of stuff are in here. Emery, for some reason, I'm close to as well. And then, as you would expect, I'm very close to, or for some reason, again, all the journalists and staff and players of Aston Villa. Got your characteristics here, so how your reputation is, your media handling. You can see sort of a percentage. So we've got 70% reputation, which is working out to be about 3.5 stars overall. Not too bad. Apparently, my loyalty to players is a little bit low overall. But then you've got also your relationships as well. So John Terry, Boateng, Pep Guardiola have a good opinion of me. Ryan Lowe and Nigel Clough randomly don't like me. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really had any involvement with either of them, but they don't like me for some strange reason. So yeah, you've got your age, you've got your international record if you've set it up like that, how your personality, your manager, your wages, all that sort of stuff, your contract, and you've got your career stats here and the formation you like to play, all that sort of stuff. So this is just like one little bit. You can retire or go on holiday as well, which is really simple. If you want to retire, just click the retire button. If you want to go on holiday, click on go holiday, come to this one, and you'll have lots of different things. So if you want to go on holiday because you've been sacked and you want to wait for a job, just click on apply for managerial positions, choose an option. So you click on that, choose top division clubs or highly reputed clubs or whatever you want to pick, national teams, whatever, and then just go on holiday indefinitely and wait to get a job offer or something like that. Obviously I don't want to go on holiday though. Then you get to your contract. As it states on the tin, it's actually your contract. This is also where you can resign, or you can look at any offers that have been brought in for if someone's offered you a contract for a new job or something like that. Again, it's quite self-explanatory. Promises, any promises you've made to a player. So obviously, like I said, we've got El Ghazi. He wanted us to sell him. We promised that we would sell him at the end of the season. It's been completed because he decided he didn't want to leave in the end, which is fair enough. Relationships. Again, you can just look at the relationships, so you can see who you're close to, who you're not. As you'd expect, we're very close to a lot of the Villa players. Kyle Fox is on loan from us, if I remember rightly. That's why it says Millwall. And if you go down, you'll see that I'm close to a couple of managers now who might help with transfers, that sort of stuff. It's not something you need to check regularly, but maybe every now and again, just maybe have a little quick breeze of it and see if there's any managers you are close to, because it might help with transfers, that sort of stuff. Apart from that, then you get to your history. So that's my overview of our of my Aston Villa manager, my save here. We've only been in one job. We've managed for 1,058 days. We've had 2 awards: top earnings or career earnings of 7.75 million, time spent on holiday 0, highest fee spent 30 million, highest fee received 60 million, total fees paid to agents 5.75. So lots of just different types of information, that sort of stuff. And then your sort of stats. So we've played 150 games, we've won 86, we've drawn 26, and we've lost 38. Gives us a win percentage of 57%. We can see there we've scored 245 goals. Haven't won any competitions though, unfortunately, there. But it gives you a bit. You can see your job history. Obviously, we've only been one manager, but if you are doing a journeyman or something like that, you want to see which clubs you've been to, you can do. Milestone. Got lots of different here, so you can have an overall. Tells you every little sort of milestone that you do. So you can see we were knocked out of the FA Cup, knocked out of the Champions League, that sort of stuff. You got some landmarks, awards there, so you can see we've got Manager of the Year last season. We got a Premier League Manager of the Month as well, competition wise. So that's where we told you about that. You can see an overall. You can see it just individually in the parts you want to see. Appointed Jack Grealish as captain, appointed Ty Mings as vice captain, hired as Aston Villa manager, and then you got a little biography of you. As you can see, we haven't got much, but once you start winning trophies, this will start filling up more and more and more, especially if you're doing, say, a low league save or something like that. You'll start winning stuff quite easily. Conversation history, if you want to look back at conversations you've had with certain players or anything like that. So that's the one. This is the one we just had about the facilities, and it's showing you it there quite nicely. We've just had about the facilities. That was in the last episode. That was in my video that I've just recorded for the last episode of the Villa Safe. So you wouldn't have seen this conversation, but if you go and watch that video, you'll see I had this conversation in the last episode of that one. So yeah, sorry, I'll just get myself confused there. But yeah, if you want to go and see any conversation for some reason, press conferences as well, so you can see all the different press conferences and what you said and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to remember something or that, you can do. Again, some of these pages, I don't really know any reason you'd maybe go on to these two myself. Maybe not even the milestones. Job history I possibly would go on to. Overview you might go on to as well, just to look at your stats, but those ones, I don't know why you'd ever go on them, to be honest. I can't think of a reason anyway. Last one is a notebook, so if you want to make any notes or anything like that, I personally don't. If I do want to remember anything, I'll jot it down on a little notepad I've got, but it's I don't particularly see why you'd do it, but that is pretty much everything to do with the homepage. It's quite simple. It's quite sort of what it says. Obviously, next time around we'll probably look at the squad, which is going to be a little bit more in depth, because you've got a lot of information. You've got a lot of different things here that you can look at. You've got your international stuff as well, that you can look at, match reports and that. You've got some drop downs. There's a lot more to go through. There's a lot more to explain. There's a lot more to go on about all these here, and if you right click here, about how you can add columns and that sort of stuff, and what would be the best views to have and all that sort of stuff. That's going to be a lot more in depth. The home one I think is very in depth. Inbox I'm not going to go through, because I think it's very simple. This is where you get all your information, all your different news. This is where you get your social feed, which is like meant to be like Facebook, all that sort of stuff, that you're as you can see, apparently can follow these people if I want to. It's a bit meant to be a bit sort of like that. You get your news. Guardiola's been sacked by Man City apparently. There, your league's in focus. So if you want to focus on a different league, you can do. At the moment, I've just got the sort of big leagues to look at, and a couple of the other leagues. And then you've got around the world. So any news around the world. The inbox is not really. It's so self-explanatory. It's taken me about a minute to explain it. It's not worth me doing a video on it. Things like that, the home one, I wanted to just do a little bit because that's the first one, and just explain about the profile and all that sort of stuff. And a page here that people don't often look at, they just click on continue straight away, but it can give you some relatively decent information quite quickly if you need to. But things like the squad, dynamics, the tactics, we will really need to go into a little bit more. Anyway guys, that's the end of this episode. It's a short one, and probably a simple one for people, but I said I was going to go through nearly every single tab. We've gone through pretty much the first two quite simply there. Obviously, we're going to start going through a little bit more of the interesting ones in the next few episodes. Thank you for watching, guys. Remember to come like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. I will see you on the next episode. Bye for now.